This is the buy that you are looking for, okay?
Right.
Bye.
Okay.
That one there.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye.
Chiba is the gal that does our nights, but I think a Chiba is also some sort of joint.
Is it?
Yeah. Now, there's being studies done at USC. It's a University of Southern California.
Never heard of it.
And they're testing THC in rats that they've given COVID to. And what they found out is it actually helps prevent your body from going into distress. Now they're not done with this study, but this is good, and they're not advising people to go out and treat themselves with THC. But in dozens of experiments across all three of the studies of the mice that were given the THC after the COVID was given to them, they survived with the THC. The ones that did not get THC died. So there's some good news there, right? As we all know that COVID can be beat. What
were the levels and the ratios for the rats with the COVID versus?
They weren't ready to release that kind of information yet.
Because that would be nice to know.
When the study is done,
like
they
if a
will
rat
release that
weighs 3
information.
pounds and you weigh 300 pounds, and they gave a rat a certain dosage, then you could very easily just extrapolate that 100 times 3 if you weigh 300 pounds, and boom, there you have it. Go take that much THC, and then you could say that the rats saved you.
The president got out of Walter Reed yesterday, got flown back. This is what he said. I didn't actually get this. I just saw the video of him going back into the White House.
One thing that's for certain, don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it.
Smoke a joint.
Beat it. We have the best medical equipment. We have the best medicines, all developed recently. And you're going to beat it. I didn't feel so good. And 2 days ago, I could have left 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I felt great, like better than I have in a long time. I said just recently, better than 20 years ago. Don't let it dominate. Don't let it take over your lives. Don't let that happen.
I wonder if he feels better because he finally got some rest. Because, when you're the president. By the way, watching this video of him doing this statement, his hair didn't look orange to me. Is it not orange anymore? Is it all silver now? It's like white silver.
The skin is the orange, and then
it reflects off the hair?
Reflects.
Oh, I see.
Like that sun coming up this morning.
I'm
you
like,
saw
wow.
that sun coming up this morning,
I
right?
see that reddish, blondie, orange hair that he normally has.
Maybe that's what they took care of at Walter Reed.
So apparently they gave him
fix your hair while you're here, Prez.
2 different drugs and a steroid, and he says he feels great. And maybe down the road, THC will be something that can be used to fight this. I don't know.
There's probably a lot of truth to what he's saying as far as the advancements are concerned, because we've seen the death rates go down quite a bit. Now, the infection rates have come up,
right,
with more testing.
But more younger people are getting it. Yeah. Their bodies are healthier, and they can fight it.
Yeah.
So that's also part of it.
I mean, could you imagine, let's just say, okay, like when Rudy Gobert was diagnosed with coronavirus, everybody was... Remember, we did not know anything then.
Remind me who that is.
Rudy Gobert was
I know the name.
The one that started it all. How could you not remember that name? He was the center for the Utah Jazz.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Coronavirus, walking around, touching all the microphones.
Went in the press conference, said, I ain't got it, and he tested everything, and then everybody got it.
Rudy Gobert single-handedly shut down this country, if you remember correctly, because once the NBA said, we're calling off all our games, everybody went into panic mode. Tinfoil hats came out, and everybody was like, oh, no, we got to shut everything down. This is horrible.
Yeah, that's right.
If the NBA is not going to play games, then the people got to lose their businesses. Well, then we've learned a lot since then, right? And we've learned a lot in the medical field, and we've learned a lot in the infection field. And we realize that, yes, you can get infected with it, you can get infected, but you can beat it because the medicine has come a long ways. And as long as you don't have those pre-existing conditions, you can. There's ways around it. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that just because his doctor says that he's in great health, when I look at that guy, that he's in great health. Because when I see him, I see him eating McDonald's cheeseburgers, and I see his body. He's not a physical specimen. Okay.
Where have you seen him eating McDonald's cheeseburgers?
Remember when I forget which team won the government during the government shutdown? There was a team that won a national championship at the collegiate ranks, and he invited them in there.
Yes, and they had McDonald's.
Everybody's eating McDonald's. He's like, "Hi, come out and eat McDonald's."
I'm not going. You don't eat fast food?
I do eat fast food, but I'm not going to pretend that. Listen, I know
everybody does.
I know I'm in better shape because I'm younger than the president. Okay, and I take a look at his body, and I'm like, he's not a fit guy. Okay. But for him to go to Walter Reed and get the
he's 74 years old.
Exactly, his age and everything. He was at high risk. It was scary last Friday.
I really thought that this could go down a very dark alley. And,
so did I.
And the fact that he went in and he's 74, and I realize he probably has the best doctors, right, and the best access to any kind of thing, anything he would need.
Right.
For God's sakes, he's the leader of the free world. So I get all that too, but he's 74. So
I really was worried. I mean, I remember having conversations over the weekend with my wife, and we were like, God, this could be really serious because of his age and because of his physical
I don't
condition.
think he's out of the woods yet. I mean, it's not even been a week, but
he sure seems to think so.
He looks good, so that's good. So that's a plus, and hopefully, like you said, now that we've had the coronavirus in our life for almost a year, the medicines are coming forward, and it's it almost makes me wonder, like. I mean, I'm not saying I want to get it, but am I tough enough? What would happen if I got it?
Oh, you just want to get it because you want to smoke those J's.
It's California, man. We can smoke J's anytime. Am I tough enough for the Rona? Can I beat the Rona?
Oh, man, you know what, man? I got coronavirus, man. I don't know.
Things we didn't get to in hashtag form with Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
It's a brand new Mexican place downtown. It's called Fresh Mex. It's Federico's Fresh Mex. They're right next to Habit Burger, downtown San Luis Obispo. You can win $25 coming up here in about 15 minutes if you know the show.
Hashtag what's your favorite noodle? Today's noodle day. What's the best noodle?
I think it's the ramen noodle. I think that's my favorite.
The ramen noodle is the best noodle? The cheapest noodle? I mean, not that any of them are really expensive.
I love the ramen noodle.
Of all the noodles that you could have, you're telling me that the best noodle is the ramen noodle? I do like a ramen noodle, though. You can crunch it up. You don't even have to cook it.
Right.
You can crunch it up, put it in a salad, and give it some texture.
Yeah.
Like an Asian chicken salad. So good. I might be with you on this one.
I really like the ramen noodle. What was your go-to thinking noodle?
Well, I
guess it all depends what you're eating.
I like shells.
Shells are good if you're doing mac and cheese.
We do a lot of mac and cheese at our house.
They hold the cheese.
We do a lot of mac and cheese at our house. I don't mind. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Farafel? It's the bow ties.
I'm guessing you're not saying it right because I've never heard of it.
It's the bow ties. Farafel? Farafel? I don't know. But the bow tie I like in a pasta salad. But I also like the shells in the pasta salad.
Can I blow this up? Here we go.
Shells in the macaroni only for macaroni and cheese.
Farafel? Falafel.
Yeah, falafel.
Falafel. Okay, I'm looking at I got a good. This is all Italian noodles, but I like the ziti because it's the tube.
Yes, I like ziti too.
Sauce or cheese or whatever can go in there. That's a good one. You know what I'm not a fan of is the real thick spaghetti. You ever been and had spaghetti? Like,
yes.
I don't want something angel hair small, but I don't want something like some of these spaghetti noodles are so thick.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of thick spaghetti. Thin spaghetti, not angel hair, but thin. But I will take angel hair over thick any day of the week.
But I guess, you know what, if I'm going Italian, the ravioli is the best noodle because there's something inside
there's
of it.
Bonus.
You get cheese or meat or whatever.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want to put in there. I had a ravioli with an egg yolk in it. And when you cut into the noodle, the egg yolk spilled out. Like they didn't overcook it, so it was cooked. But you don't like over easy eggs? Oh, I love over easy eggs.
I just
So
had
that
an
was
egg
really
at
good.
that point. I mean, why do you want
Because you get it in the and then the sauce.
all the awesome things you could put in a ravioli? An uncooked egg is not top of my list. I'm sorry.
I guess the rigatoni kind of looks like the ziti. What's the difference between the rigatoni and the ziti? They're very similar. The rigatoni has more rigid lines on it. I think it might be. Oh, and the manicotti. The manicotti's even bigger. It's almost like the enchilada version of Italian. You think about it, because the manicotti they usually stuff with cheese.
What about spirals?
Oh, like
What are
the
your thoughts on the spirals?
cavatappi?
Is that what it? Yeah, that's what it goes. That's what it is.
Cavatappi.
Cavatappi.
I don't like. Oh, wait, well, that's the one that's like this. Well, there's the fusilli. Like, remember in Seinfeld, the fusilli Jerry? Mm-hmm. That's kind of a spiral, but it's a tube spiral.
Right.
Where the cavatappi is more of a rope.
Yes.
Oh, and then you got the penne, too. I like the penne. So today's National Pasta Day. Go enjoy. But now
No.
I feel like we're spending way too much time. Noodle Day.
You're
Noodle.
wrong.
Noodle.
You're
Sorry.
wrong. Yes, it's Noodle Day.
Noodle Day.
Which means it could
Are
be
those
anything.
noodles?
Those are all noodles. Yes.
Okay, making sure.
I think so.
Because when I think of noodles, I think of like ramen and other noodles.
So, however you want to celebrate, don't just go Italian.
What
You
about the
can't-
udon? The udon is very thick.
You
I'm
can't
not a
go
fan.
Asian. What's udon?
Udon's like a very thick spaghetti-looking noodle that they use in like Japanese soups.
No, thank you. Not a big fan of thick spaghetti. The minute you say thick
yeah,
spaghetti, it
thick
turns
is
me
not
off.
good. But the ramen, I like the ramen. What else we got going on here? I got to get back to my page now. I was looking at all that stuff. Hashtag debate number 2 tomorrow night. It's the vice presidential debate. Harris versus Pence. I guess they've
undercard.
They're going to put them 12 feet away from each other. Number one.
This is the undercard.
The undercard, yeah. They're going to put them 12 feet away from each other. And they're going to put a big piece of plexi around, either in between them or around each candidate. So, what if you can't hear? I mean, they're already 12 feet away. And if somebody's a soft talk, I mean, how can they hear what's going on? How can the moderator hear what's going on if they're in a plexiglass?
Microphones.
So maybe
How can people hear what's going on when we're talking?
So
right now?
they're mic'd up, but I mean, in the room, is there speakers? If there's speakers and mics on, you can get feedback. I don't know. It'll be interesting to
I'm
see what
sure
happens.
that the moderator will have some kind of earbud to hear what they're saying. I mean, really, that's all you need, right? Is the moderator and those two to be able to organize that. Who interrupts who more on this one?
Oh, Kamala.
Yes.
I think she's more of the interrupter in this room.
This could have.
Pence is a very restrained, conservative's not the word. He's just very.
It's strange because you would think that the sitting vice president has the most to lose in this. I don't think so. I think Kamala Harris has the most to lose in this debate because of her personality, because of her status is more iconic than that of Mike Pence's. Even though he's the vice president.
It's got to be a better debate than the last one, right? I mean, the last one was it was so hard to listen to. It was just like you and I, when we get into fights, sometimes I'm like,
I don't know.
God, how can anybody tolerate this crap? But you and I don't even interrupt each other as much as those two interrupt. But I mean, I guess, we don't hate each other.
Are you
What? You were about to say
just
something.
Nothing. I think you're mad at me because of my comments today because they were right.
Why do you think I'm mad at you? I'm not mad at you.
I walked in the door. I was like, if you're a different fantasy football player, if you're a better fantasy football player,
you're the only one that takes fantasy football as serious as you do.
You would be 4-0, not 3-1.
Okay,
listen. Put MVS in the flex and
you're in 8th place. You're in 8th place, okay? I'm in 2nd. Okay. All right. I have 140 more points on you on the season. I am not worried about you and the fact that you did make a very strategic and brilliant move last night.
And a move you
had some
made
luck.
Had you not put MVS in your receiver's position and you put him in the flex. It's a move you could have made yesterday afternoon.
You're probably right.
You would have won, and you would have been 4-0.
Just hashtag.
And I tell you, MVS sucks. He's terrible.
I'm going to repeat this one more time. Led Zeppelin breathing a sigh of relief as they've won the arguments in the U.S. Supreme Court, and they are on their stairway to heaven. Claim that this guy Randy Wolf, who I think is dead,
yes,
but his estate is suing,
was going after him,
saying that they stole some music for Stairway to Heaven. Then the jury is not going to get to hear that his song. Something to do with it being sheet music, but it's a win for Led Zeppelin. So quickly get through that. Also, hashtag sober. Tommy Lee, sober 1 year. Tommy says he feels lucky to be alive. He says he feels lucky that he's here. He says, you've never seen people drink more vodka than I used to drink. The
Doesn't
people
he have a Starbucks in his house? I think he does. I think he has like a Starbucks in his house, like a barista on
like
call.
she comes to the house?
He, I don't know.
Like she goes to work there every day?
Could be a broista. I don't know. But yeah, that's I don't know if she works for Starbucks. I don't know if she works for Tommy, but she makes Starbucks drinks for Tommy Lee, which probably is really good for sobriety, I would think, because if you've ever seen outside of an AA meeting, it's cigarettes and coffee all the time. Like full bore. So that's probably good that he's got coffee on demand, because if he's like thinking, I could have a drink. Because you got to think, when you're rich and you're a musician and you used to drink a lot, you have a lot of time on your hands, then you're going to go back to drinking. It's got to be much harder for Tommy Lee to fight addiction than it is. Like my stepbrother, for instance, just dropped a bombshell on Facebook a couple months ago. He says, hey, I've been sober for a year. We're like, whoa, we had no idea you were battling demons, stepbro.
You didn't even know he was a drug?
I didn't even know it was a
Was
a
it
thing.
drugs or alcohol?
Alcohol.
Oh.
I had no idea it was a thing.
Well, some people just decide.
He's got 2 kids. He's scraping to get by. He's got a job on top of a job. He's got all these distractions in his life. I think it's got to be harder for Tommy Lee to be recovering from addiction than it is for my stepbrother, because my stepbrother's got all these distractions, idle hands, right?
I don't know your stepbrother. I've never met him. Not that I remember.
You've met him.
I was drinking in those days. But is there a
was he.
chance that he really never had a problem? He was just decided to make a lifestyle change because he was drinking more than he thought he should be, and
this is not
and then now it's hey, look at me, I get to say this.
Maybe.
Because
I don't know, but I
don't know.
this.
You know him.
I will say this: in a time of COVID,
I know other people do it.
In a time of COVID, it would have been very, very easy for people when they were in lockdown. And he lives in Washington, which I think is still locked down. I don't know. They're crazy up there.
I was in Washington over the summer. You could go into restaurants and bars. You had to wear a mask.
I was under the assumption
they were more free than we are here.
They are more afraid?
They were free. I mean, they were able to do more things.
Okay.
They had less rules.
To have that idle time on your hands during COVID and beat it during COVID, kudos to Tommy Lee and my stepbrother. Good job, guys. By the way, it's not the stepbrother that hit on your wife at my wedding.
I don't even know that. I didn't even know that happened.
I did. Go back and listen to the best of.
There's another win for the Wet Willies. Won that fight, too. I'm going to win this week.
All right. Had the advantage going in. I mean,
Steve Miller. That's Floyd.
That's the 1 week you didn't put MVS in the receivers.
Come on, he was supposed to be the guy.
Wake up. Wake up.
Downloading a new day.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Jeff and Jeremy here. It's Know the Show, 805-543-3693. Mike standing by. Good morning, Michael.
What's up?
It's $25 to Federico's. Fresh Max Downtown Slope. You know the show.
What does Jeremy want to get and why?
He wants the COVID so that he can be more like Trump, I guess.
No, I don't want the COVID. That's what Jeff was fishing for, but I do not want to get COVID.
I just said
I kind of want to know of how tough I am, how I would fight it off.
Yeah, but then again, you don't know the long-term effects. So
wait, you guys haven't thought about this?
That's what I said at first. But
you haven't thought about this?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because then you get the antibodies and you're good.
Right. Well, yeah, but you don't know how. You maybe get permanent lung damage. I mean, it's just.
Yeah,
what happens like 5 years from now when we realize everybody that got it,
I thought that way at first, too.
Underlying conditions.
How about you, Mike?
As a result of it.
Have you thought about it?
What about it? Did I want it? No.
You haven't thought about it if you're tough enough?
I probably would, but with work and stuff, I can't take that time off and all that.
There's that, too.
No.
God, yes. Could you imagine the hassle? I mean, so...
What do you do? What are you, emergency room? What are you, an emergency room physician?
I can't, I'm customers, old people and stuff, so I can't. I'd have to take 2 weeks off work at least.
Yeah.
You work around old people?
Sometimes.
God bless you.
The schools,
old people are cranky.
The schools that are open are so
hard
cautious.
to deal with.
Like,
as you get older, you find that out, don't you?
Well, working with you.
my daughter's classmate said, she wasn't feeling good. I mean, this kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't feeling good. She went to the teacher and said, I'm not feeling good. Can I go home? Automatic 2 weeks out of school, like immediately.
Really?
Because they got to play it safe.
I don't feel good.
And the mom's like,
You don't look good.
whoa.
I don't look good, do I? I don't feel very good.
Yeah, I hope I get it and get all the treatment that the president got. That's my hope.
Well, I guess he got
Gotta fly to Walter
two
Reed.
drugs and some steroids.
Yeah, that everybody gets
According
when
to
they
a news
get it,
story I
right?
read today, but
Everybody that's
well, they got one new drugs now.
Timing is everything.
Conspiracy theorists.
there's no conspiracy.
over here.
Timing is
It's just-
everything.
All right. Well, Mike, I hope when you go downtown, if you ever make it downtown slow, you can go and enjoy this $25 gift card over to Federico's. Okay.
He has to now because
Right on. Thanks, guys.
he's going to have it. I mean,
You bet.
Why would you let that thing burn?
And just to be clear, I don't want to get it. Okay, so
You want to see how tough you are.
I'm curious. I'm thinking.
Don't be afraid of it. Is it dominating your life?
Don't
Come
be
on,
afraid
just
of
don't
it.
be
Don't let
afraid.
it dominate you.
Clearly, Jeremy doesn't want to dominate. It doesn't want it dominating him. He wants to dominate it.
There's a lot of things. There's some women. I mean,
Is
there's.
it, maybe don't go there.
some
Is there anyone not
domination I want,
surprised
and
of
it's
the
not from
reaction that the president had?
The reaction?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much
No,
knew that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I mean, because literally, he's been downplaying it the whole time. So even if he felt bad, I think he would stick to his guns.
Well, pretty much.
But I mean, he looks all right.
It seems pretty genuine to me, though. It didn't seem like it was like I mean, it was like he was like, okay, this is what happened.
My cousins both got it. They're, my cousin, she married the other guy. I call him.
But he can't just stop at that.
They never had to go to the hospital. They they never even were on medication. I mean, they just literally. And he's a diabetic over 20 years, so he was fine. I mean, it was like a bad chest cold. My cousin, who's perfectly healthy, she had a little bit more longer lasting effects. She felt in her lungs, but it all cleared up. So I don't know. I mean, that's the only reference I have to go off.
Rolling the dice. I mean, I actually, after giving blood, they now test for antibodies, and they sent me an email saying, hey, you can check your status. Oh, I checked. It said negative, so I was like, oh, well.
So you never had it.
So I know that much, I guess.
Well, I guess you're no Tom Hanks.
But if I had
like
had it, yeah, if I had it, then there's this convalescent plasma you can donate that helps people. It's not a cure, but it helps the symptoms.
Oh, they guilt you back into going back again, huh?
Oh, not at all. That's the way you look at it. How many times
Seth
you given
looks at
blood
it
this
like,
year?
I could possibly save somebody's life.
for years.
Jeremy's looking at it
I
like,
donate blood.
man.
I donate blood.
I'm
trust
old.
me,
What do I know?
I go in there and I donate, but they're always trying to talk me into that, hour and a half plasma thing. I'm like, I don't have that much time. Sorry, just take the pint.
I
and
don't
let me get
have
out of
time
here.
to save somebody's life
Yeah,
today.
screw
Come on.
that.
I'm a busy guy. I got to go fishing.
Blood can't dominate my life. Such a jerk. Who needs blood
If
anyway?
I had the
What is this
antibodies, I
blood?
would be down there as much as I could.
Can't they just
I got
sell
to
it
take
off the shelf?
FBS out of my flex and put him in my wide receiver spot.
All right. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
I do.